Yes. 24. Okay, fine. Excuse me. Oh yes, please. No. Yes. Just hold on. I'll examine this candidate and call you back. Okay, fine. Just define. I'm not a ghost. Why are you looking at me like this? Define inflammation. Excuse me. Can you get the TA bills and the DA bills?
Yes,
Please.
What?
What? You don't know this? Okay, I'll go to the next question. Okay, define cell injury.
Madam, would you like to take a kingfisher flight or a Deccan?
A kingfisher? But not economical, the other class. Okay, fine. Yes? What is this? You don't know even this? What are the cardinal signs of inflammation?
Rubor,
Rubor,
Gala,
Cala, yes? Why are you crying? You can tell me the answer instead. Okay, you can go and you can call the next candidate.
So often this torment is what we go through the Viva. Say, should we use it as a tool at all? It's the first question. How many people don't want to use Viva as an evaluation tool for bioethics? For bioethics. Okay, for other things. One. Anybody? Everybody wants Viva still. Why? You don't want Viva? You want to give it up? You want? What reason? Why do you want Viva? What is the purpose of Viva? It can test various aspects of knowledge.
It's one-to-one.
It is one-to-one. Has it any advantage over the other methods?
Rather than an
Immediate evaluation.
rather than an advantage, it can be a complement to the other.
It can be a complementary. It should not be the only thing. Very good.
And it doesn't stop with one question.
Okay, you can ask. But your time is limited, is it not? You should have it as a tool or not? That is my first question. What is the purpose? I think it has come now. Viva is conducted to assess only attitudes and communication skills, not knowledge. It is not what he is answering, it is how he is answering. It is not what he is preparing to answer, it is how he is listening to your question. I think class on communication skills is over or not, I don't know. You ask this question, what percentage listening makes in communication? More than 50%. So, to test the listening and the communication skills and attitude is what Viva is about. Next time you sit as an examiner for Viva, have this in your mind. I am going to test only the attitude and communication. Madam, am I right? Sir Orgis, madam? What do you think? Can you test knowledge?
Knowledge also.
Some element. In a percentage, how much would you put? Any ideas? Knowledge, how much would you put? Suppose in 100%, how much?
Sir,
20%.
sir, there is another aspect to it. There are
Yes.
some people who cannot express in writing. They can express while
While
you know you
speaking.
communicate.
So
So
that
it
proves
is
an
the advantage. Yes. No.
Madam, I have a question to ask. Suppose you have a lot of knowledge on bioethics. You know everything about counseling. Finally, you can't talk to the patient. What use is the knowledge? Yeah? So, it's either way. You should have Viva, I think. You should have, but I have structured Viva.
Yeah.
Basically, remember this point. We are going to test not knowledge, maybe very little aspect, but attitudes and communication skills have to be tested. And the previous years, this was the state where many examiners with different phases look at a poor candidate, others wait with anxiety outside. Now it is more congenial atmosphere is there, single to single. It was not very congenial here anyway, but it was deliberate acting on their part. And Viva can be improved by a congenial atmosphere, one examiner at a time, asking valid questions without distractions, and try to tell the students beforehand to relax. You are learning relaxing techniques. It is a waste if you finish it here for using yourself. Remember, whatever is taught to you in this program is for the benefit of the whole society. So to your students, to your subordinates also, you teach the relaxing techniques, telling them this will come in useful in situations like a viva or an interview when you go. Ask them methods of relaxation like breathing, exercises, etc. to be practiced, which does go a lot of help in making a viva better atmosphere. Who will relax, candidate or the teacher? Both should be relaxed. Both should be relaxed. In fact, that who should be more relaxed? If the teacher is more relaxed, the candidate will become even more relaxed. So it is a teacher who should do 5 minutes meditation if the candidate is doing 1 minute meditation. Of course, not while the candidate is answering.
Many a times, the other students or other faculty member used to sit by the side of it, even if they are not disturbing.
Distracted.
Even if they are not disturbing, it might be behind that also even, but whether this can be allowed or not.
What's the opinion? It should not be allowed. There can be one person in that hall, along with the candidate and the examiner. One person can be there in the hall. Who is that? He is the trainee examiner. He is the trainee examiner. The examiner the person who is going to become the examiner next time. Otherwise, they will all come into our system. One fine day, we are put there as examiners. We don't know how to conduct a viva. So one person better allow, have a badge around him as trainee examiner, let him stand. The candidate knows he is a trainee examiner, he is watching how to conduct the viva. How to conduct the viva. I think one person can be allowed like that should be the stipulation. Now we go to another interesting area, teacher evaluation or personal evaluation as a teacher. Now teaching skills, what you acquire can be improved only through feedback, not standing in front of a mirror, not listening to an audio tape, but from the students. And the method, of course, you know, is micro teaching. Self methods of evaluation are there. Peer feedback is there. What's the problem with peer feedback? Jealousy. How many people will take criticism? Ego clashes. So peers, we wouldn't prefer much. Whatever it is, most teachers would. But you have to cross that barrier at some point if you want to improve. What about expert feedback? Who are these experts? These experts are the educational technology experts. What way they can contribute? They can look at areas which are defective for you, which other people don't see. Not only that, they can solve the problems. Because they are experts, they can tell you how you can overcome these problems in teaching. That is the advantage of an expert feedback. But it's not always possible. Is it possible at all? Micro teaching is something like putting the teacher under a microscope. And to put it short, you cannot sit 1 hour in a class and evaluate a teacher. He will become tired, you will become tired. So the teacher takes a 5 minutes class and is observed. His skills are rated, and we will go through can we have the video? Please take your sheets. There is a checklist. You can please mark the checklist on that. I will show a video for about 3-4 minutes where a teacher is taking a class which we have, and you can observe the skills practiced and give your critical comments. It's regarding micro teaching. Observator scale is there, no? Can you put the
direct perception? Pratyaksha Badaka Bhavas. Actually, it is not Pratyaksha Badaka Bhavas. Limitations includes Badaka Bhavas and absence of Pratyaksha. So you should know what is. So this is the topic, and today by the end of the class, you should be able to tell what are the Pratyaksha Badaka Bhavas. So what is Pratyaksha? So what is the definition of Pratyaksha? Indriyartha Sanniversha Janyam Jnanam Pratyaksham. So it's from the philosophy, Vaisheshika Darshana, right? Sorry. So here you have the Indriya and the Artha and the contact, that is Sanniversha. That much you know. So what happens? So you know the components of Pratyaksha or direct perception is the Indriya and the Artha. artha. We have taken only the eye, it can be any of the 5 indriyas. So, what are the components? The indriya should be there and the artha should be there, isn't it? So, what happens if either one of these two is not there? There is no pratyaksha, right? Isn't it? Then, can you tell me another circumstance when there is no pratyaksha? Either our indriya is not there and indriya artha is not there, then you don't have pratyaksha. That's okay. Then, indriya is there, object is there. Then, is there any hindrance for pratyaksha? When Sannikasha is not there, very good. So, Sannikasha is absent, isn't it? So, that is the topic that pratyaksha badaka bhava. So, pratyaksha can be hindered by 2. One, there is either the sense object or sense organ is not there, or it is there, they are not in Sannikasha. Then, the other factor is when the Sannikasha is hindered. So, that is pratyaksha badaka bhava. You know how many pratyaksha badaka bhavas are told in our shastra? 8 pratyaksha badaka bhavas are told. We don't go into the slogas because it will be tiring. So, we will come to the illustrations and I will explain it. So, what is Ati Sannikasha? Sannikasha means being near. So, Ati Sannikasha means extreme proximity. Here the man is trying to see a flower very close to the, keeping it very close to the eye. So, when it is very close to the eye, you try to read it. Read something keeping very close to the eye. You cannot read, isn't it? So, that is Ati.
Now, what are the positive points do you think? She was asking questions. She was using some audio visual aids. Body language was good. Then she was confident, was it not? Yes. Anything else?
I think she had the reasonably friendly tone.
A friendly atmosphere she created. Summarized, she was summarizing in between. What are the negative points? Voice modulation. She was very fast. You felt it was very fast.
Generally, you are supposed to go for progressive declaration. I don't know what she thought.
She put the whole thing. So audio visual aids were used but not properly used. Okay. Okay. Now can you go through the checklist? There are 3 paragraphs. I have put it as 3 separate. Can you tell me why I put like that? Please go through those. Go through that checklist, no? Which you have to evaluate. You have 3 paragraphs. I put it into 3 paras. Tell me why I have grouped the skills like that. You think first paragraph is learner oriented. Learner oriented skills with the patient, with the students, the teacher should have. Okay. Second one. Teacher himself, the skills which he himself has to improve. What is the third one? With the process. So who should be doing the third one? The teacher should do. Where will you get help for doing the third one? Can you read the third group, please, quickly? Lesson planning. Use of audio visual aids. Content. Originality. Summarizing ability. These are all inherent abilities. But if you want to improve on that, what will you do? Peers. Very good. You have to go to peers. You have to observe how others teach, how they summarize and learn summarizing. Nobody can teach you or run a course on summarizing skills. I don't know whether such future technologies are going to evolve, but these things cannot be put as courses or anything, can be understood only by observation and then internally. So take peers. So first one, student centered, second one, teacher centered, and third one, I think peer oriented skills which you can develop with the help of peers or educational experts. Since you are familiar with micro teaching, I am going fast over this. Now how does the teacher evaluation of micro teaching help improve a teacher? The definition of a, see, when you want to improve, you have to go with one important concept in mind, that good teachers are not born teachers, they are made teachers. They are made teachers. I know a teacher whose class was very good. He used to crack jokes and everybody used to laugh. Since he was very close to me, I one day go and say, how sir, how you are able to do all this? He said, practice man. So, practice. All my jokes are practice. See my OHP in the corner, I have written which joke to crack at what time. Go through these 4 steps, very simple. Observe other teachers. Even through videos, read about educational material, areas which you can improve, implement them and get a student feedback. No need for even questionnaire. After your class, you can ask 1 or 2 students who are close to ask, how was it? Please tell me confidentially, you can ask. And develop satisfaction and pride in your teaching ability. Most important, if you have pride in your teaching ability, develop that emotion, then however bad a teacher you are, you will improve over the years. Now, I have given a questionnaire on teaching. You can read it at leisure. Now, the 5 important qualities of a teacher which I would consider, this is my own personal opinion, you can list any number. And of course, teachers should have knowledge, teachers should have empathy, teachers should have friendliness. More important, teachers should have honesty. Honesty means students like teachers who are democratic, who are impartial. That is one quality all students look. Is he impartial? Is he partial to? Does he give me same marks as the other fellow? Is he looking at me more time? Is the eye contact with me 5 minutes? The other fellow is getting only 2 minutes. Is it because I am unattractive? They ask. They are adult learners. Then patience. A good teacher is one who can understand the mistakes and repeat. Somebody doesn't understand, I repeat. Third time I get, he's asking again the same thing. You are not a good teacher. Develop this quality of repeating a same thing again and again, even if it will be boring to some. At least one person, if it is benefiting, you have to repeat. And you have on X and Y axis, teachers who have good interpersonal relationship, teachers who are intellectually high. The complete masters or teachers are who have both the axes together. So, good interpersonal relationship as well as intellectual ability are reflected in teaching. Now, we are coming to the last 2 slides of some areas of evaluation like self-evaluation and peer evaluation. Should self-evaluation be carried out or not? Should you encourage students to do self-evaluation? You have completed this course, you are going back to your place of work. Who is going to evaluate you? Whether you are doing something or only you are the evaluator. So, if you are taught about self-evaluation here, you will carry it later on. So, self-evaluation is a continuous process, others have time limitations. The problem is teachers feel that students will become irresponsible if you give self-evaluation. They may say, I have done everything, I have done my assignment, I have sent the email, it has not reached you, they will say. So, you set time limits, send it 1 week before the, see all that is done because it's based on a self-evaluation. We give such criteria, if you say, see 2 cases, at least you will see 1 case. So, give them a criteria to look for. That criteria if you can give, students can assess each other also. But again the question of responsibility comes, but peer evaluation is something which we have to encourage because group learning occurs by peer evaluation. Madam, your comments on self and group learning technique?
It was a program that we went to where you evaluate your spouse and the spouse evaluates you. And there were 25 questions and later you sit and discuss. I mean, we as a couple, we did it at this age and he's also supposed to have done it. So that was the latest self-evaluation I did. Otherwise, long ago, after one of my management training programs, I wanted to do a self-evaluation and gave the same pro forma which I got there in the department. And I said, you can write whatever you want, please be. So it was all encircling. I didn't know anybody's handwriting, nothing to be written. And it was such a revealing thing. I realized where I thought I was good, there were so many lacuna there. And it was something that I did. And I used to give regularly to students. How many of you have ever done a self-evaluation by giving a pro forma to the students? Please put your hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4. You think it's been good? Yes. And are you sort of grown enough to accept the criticisms, if so? Yeah. So that's what part of being a good teacher.
Thank you, madam. Do you give open, self-evaluation is about students. See, I have also done a lot of work on self-evaluation in students. When they join the course, I put a question. Why did you join this course? Second, what made you join the course? What is interesting? Questions which we ask, but if we ask them to write down without name, they will write in detail. Do you know that what was your ambition in joining the course? One person had written, I wanted to become a movie star. My parents forced me into the medical profession. After taking the MBBS, I am going to become a movie star. He writes and gives. So students come out with their evaluation, what their ambitions. So this sort of open questions also should be part of evaluation techniques used. Now projects and logbooks, are they good evaluation tools? In bioethics, what do you think? They will be very relevant, very relevant. Projects are powerful learning experiences, but then there is a big problem. How will you mark a project? It's a big problem. There's a lot of bias. Some students do no project work, but write a very good report. Others do a good project work, but give a very bad report. So how are you going to assess a project? Any ideas? How are you going to assess projects? Is there any objective method for assessing projects? Make it structured, but then projects are rather.
Like in ICMR, when we send proposals, we have whether it is relevant to our national needs.
Okay. To make it more objective. Any other idea of how to make it objective, the evaluation of a project? It's quite simple, the answer. Two people mark independently. Objectivity comes. When one person says, I saw this, you are saying wrong. Or make three people mark. If there is a difference, then you go. Ask a third person. So projects, the problem comes is like Viva, one-to-one. One person starts evaluating, the problem comes. If two or three evaluate the same project, it becomes a better evaluation. So what about case books or log books? They are also quite good. The advantages over projects is that the faults can be understood. For example, this month you look at the log book, some evaluation is wrong, you can tell, don't repeat it next month. That is not possible in a project. Course evaluation, you know, you will be given course evaluation here, pre-test and post-test, I am sure. What's the purpose of course evaluation? Is improve the course. But who benefits most? The trainers? No. Future trainees benefit. Because by course evaluation, what they are looking for is not the best candidate, but the most improved candidate. And then they look to what category the most improved candidate belongs, or they belong. And that means this course is particularly suited for that type of people. So they change the type of candidate to be selected for that type of course next time, based on who benefits maximum. So in a course evaluation, the major thrust will be on finding out the improved candidates, not the best or the poorest. That is immaterial. That is how the course as such evolves. And lastly, the post-validation or testing a question or a tool. It's a very cumbersome procedure. Some of you may be familiar, and it's a very difficult area in educational technology. I won't go in detail, just skip through that. Basically, suppose a question like this is asked. How do you assess the effectiveness of the question? It's a question which I made. Disordered arrangement of cells is called atrophy, hypertrophy, dysplasia, metabolism. What do you think? The answer, of course, is dysplasia. It's an important thing which I want the student to know, because it's a pre-malignant lesion. So I have put that question. So it's a must-know area for an MBBS student. Now, when I evaluated, there are three things I evaluated. One thing is it a good enough question? Is it too simple or too easy? Or is it average? Questions which are average difficulty are the ones which have to be kept. Second one, does it discriminate the good and bad students? Good and bad students. Third question is, are all the distractors effective? Like the answer is dysplasia. Did the rest of the students go for all the other distractors equally? And on analysis, it was found that nobody went for A. Nobody went for A. So what is my learning experience from that? Remove it. So I removed the atrophy and put hyperplasia or some other thing, and found some other students are attracted. So such distractors have to be removed. It improves the test item. I have another learning experience here. HAG means high achieving group, low LAG means low achieving group. Two people in high achieving group have gone for B, 6 in the low achieving group have gone for 6 out of 10. So majority of the lower scoring students are going for the particular answer B. What does it tell you? It's not a good distractor, it is a good misconception. As a teacher, next time you take the class, listen students, dysplasia is not this, it is not this. So my learning experience as a teacher has improved. I know what the student's misconception is. I have to clear his misconception, that is my duty. So I said, okay, this is your misconception, forget it, next. So my learning objective is getting more and more achieved. Finally I will find, although it's a difficult question, all the students are answering, because I have already prepared with telling the student that about the misconceptions. So these are the way how you will forget that. Why use post validation? We have seen, one, it improves the question because the distractor is changed, you know. It improves the skill of testing questions, setting questions, and common misconceptions you can discuss with the students after the exam, and most importantly it improves the learning outcome. So the purpose of evaluation after all is to improve the learning outcome. It's not to show your ability in evaluation over the student. It is to improve the learning outcome that we are using the various forms of evaluation. Now we come to the last question, that is the negative marking in evaluation. Should we have or not? It's a big question. What forms of evaluation you should have? Formative, summative, selection. Selection you should have, but for conventional formative, suppose there is a course on bioethics, should you have negative marking? I don't think it is absolutely needed. But if you have to have negative marking, if somebody says in a curriculum you have to set a question with negative marking for bioethics, you should know what negative marking is. That's why I have given the handout, and you should follow this formula while giving the score for a negative mark. It depends on the number of choices. If there are 4 choices, the negative mark will be 1/3. If there are 5 choices, it will be 1/4. It will be 1 less. Understand? So for a long time, the entrance exams were conducted with 1/5, 1/4 mark for a 4 choice question, or even all India entrance test, it was wrong. Finally they realized and changed it. Now it is to 1/3. 1/3 mark is reduced for a 4 choices. That's based on this formula. The handout is given. Now grading also is a part of evaluation. When you do evaluation, you have to grade the students. You have 2 methods. One, you can fix slabs grading based on marks, 70 to 80% like that, or you can have a rank order. And last words in evaluation are the criterion reference evaluation. What's a criterion reference evaluation? What is the mark you obtain for a driving test? There is no mark. There is only judgment. You fix a criteria whether you can drive a car or not. That is all. So that is moreover sometimes it's the money paid also. but anyway, that type of criteria is there. What's a norm reference? Norm reference is what they form in GRE and all. That is, out of 100 students, it's pre-decided top 50 will pass. Their individual marks are not a matter. The first 50 will be selected for the course, like that. So a norm is fixed, and then evaluation is done, and the top are taken. So that is also another form of evaluation. Last form of assessment is of course the unobtrusive assessment. What is the best method of assessment, you ask? It is the unobtrusive. Imagine a person doing his work, and somebody else without him knowing is taking a video of him and observing. That is when the real thing comes out, especially in ethics. If you can devise an evaluation tool like that, that would be the best.
What is it ethical?
You tell him at some point of time you will be videoed. So he doesn't know when he is going to be videoed, so he will be careful all the time, and it gets internalized.
Not record the true picture, right? When he's going to be, it has to be something which is spontaneous.
In a real atmosphere, when you evaluate a clinician or a student, how good he is, that is what he is. Yes or no? Yes. That is what he is. That is what he is. That's what we want to know by evaluation. That's what we want. So this unobtrusive assessment, how you can do, that you have to start thinking. It is a think point. And learning is a continuous process. Hence the best form of assessment, as I said, is an ongoing assessment throughout life, where the learner gradually reduces the role of assessors. We disappear. All the motivators, others disappear. Replaces this with the peers. You ask your peers how you are doing in your bioethics, and lastly self. So assessment is basically self-oriented, and now you have an easier method. Even if we can be in communication. How? Through the net, is it not? Through the net. So through the emails we can still be in touch. If you have doubts you can ask, and we can assess, do some assessment, we can put certain questions, you can answer. We can actually do an exam after a period of 6 months or 1 year about the course objectives. You can even look into the book and write down, but then still you have to learn, So some form of assessments are possible in distance education. Madam, your comments on e-evaluation. We know about e-learning, now let's think about e-evaluation, because it reduces the cost of everything.
Right now we've been, as you all know, you all are being, we've been trying to assess you. That is an online assessment. And in this connection, I think Nandini will also say, those who have not submitted their online assignments, please do so now at least. And those who have already submitted will get an added benefit because they've submitted it, before the so-called deadline. So those who haven't, please do so. So that is one aspect about online assignment. Another aspect is somebody was interested in online assignment. So I'll share a little bit of my experience with online assignment. I mean, a course which I did. It was fun doing it. And there were about, I think, total 12 assignments, 12 questions, 12 sets of questions, each questions ranging from, I think, 10 to 20. And each one you had to get a minimum of 85%. And if you don't get 85%, you try a second time and they'll give you where to look for in your book and things like that. So you try a second time. Even if the second time you don't get your 85%, you're given one more chance. And then it also gives the statistical incidence as to how many submitted, what is your score. All that is online. The whole thing is online, and it was real fun. And so that was my experience with reference to online assignment. Secondly, another online assignment was, they had to test your voice. I told I did this, it's a kinder music program. And so one assignment was over the phone. They gave you 2 small nursery rhymes, and you had to learn that. They gave you the musical notation also. You had to learn that. And on a particular day that the mentor rang you up and you had to sing the 2 songs. So that's another online telephonic type of assignments. I think Nandini will have probably more aspects on that. And that's about it. Right. And
that summarizes the whole thing. Thank you, madam. Now the last point, in learning there is stress, about positive and negative stress. What does this tell you? In evaluation? There are areas where there is no stress. We know universities which announce free pass all degrees. At the other end, there are areas where the candidate is never going to pass. A 7-year MBBS student will finish in 15 years, and the doctor's loan will become the patient's debt. It is unethical. We need not go to this extreme, we need not go to that extreme. Evaluation should always take a middle path. Whatever course, whatever thing you are doing, remember evaluation should have a middle path, should test only those areas which are absolutely important and relevant to that area. Can you just answer the 3 questions for us in your evaluation sheet?
Evaluation sheet has been given, no? Right.
In this, please add these 3.
Have you been motivated to become a better trainer? And has there been a change in you? Yes. And are you a 3rd millennium learner? So this is summary and your challenges. So we've been giving you distance education modules. You need to evaluate the modules in the evaluation sheet. We've had our contact program with the LICE program, assessment evaluation. And have you become a 3rd millennium learner? And the mnemonic future stands for, are you a fast learner? Nandini has highlighted that. Are you a universal learner? We've got people from all over. Are there any tribals here? I think yes. And is it universal and urban? And are you a rebel in learning? Is it good to be a rebel in learning? Yes or no? Yes, certainly. And is your learning ethical and experiential? So that is the mnemonic for future. And are there challenges, personal challenges which you have generated within you? In your brain and your heart and your soul and your hands or wherever it is. And has this become, this is for the organizers, is this an innovative, cost-effective teaching learning methodology? We are trying to make it cost-effective by incorporating the distance education principles. So instead of a 10-day program with 10-day food for all of you, we are trying to cut short the time and make it cost-effective so that our return on the investment that the ICMR and NIH is spending, is there a better return on the investment? And is there quality in teaching and learning once you get back? And what's your homework? So these are just a few questions and challenges. And meanwhile, the three of us, the 3 S's, our team teaching learning activity would like to say goodbye to all of you and thank you very much. We all enjoyed the program and we'd like to say, it's our time to say goodbye, wave goodbye. Our time to wave together. It's our time to wave together. Wave hello, hello. Come on, sing. It's our time to wave together. Our time to wave together. It's our time to wave together. Wave hello, hello. Thank you very much.